Sin City, April 22nd, 1994. An epic showdown is about to take place. The bright lights of Caesar's Palace illuminate a packed-out Las Vegas arena, a boxing battle royale where Evander the Real Deal Holyfield, one of the greatest boxers of all time, is about to defend his heavyweight title against the young, up-and-coming Michael Moorer. The air is electric with anticipation. After all, this is the legend who knocked out Buster Douglas and defended his title against Larry Holmes and George freaking Foreman. But something isn't quite right. The usual spring in Holyfield's step is missing. His legendary cardio seems off. By round 2, he's breathing heavily, unusual for a fighter known for his superhuman conditioning. As the rounds tick by, it becomes clear that the champion isn't quite himself. And after 12 grueling rounds, Moorer takes the decision, robbing Holyfield of his belt.
And new heavyweight champion of the world! Yeah!
But the real fight is only just beginning, because just 4 days later, Holyfield shocks the sports world by announcing his early retirement. The diagnosis?
He has a condition known as a non-compliant left ventricle.
A stiff heart that his doctors say makes it dangerous for him to continue fighting. At just 31 years old, it seems that the real deal has thrown his last punch. But then, something miraculous happens. Just 2 months later, at a packed revival meeting in Philadelphia, Holyfield encounters a charismatic faith healer named Benny Hinn.
This is your day for a miracle!
Thousands watch, tuning in on TV sets around the nation. Holyfield crumples to the ground as the crowd erupts.
The Lord is telling me right now, He is repairing Holyfield's heart completely.
When he rises, he claims to feel a warmth spreading through his chest.
You feel like a warm? Yes.
And within just months, he's cleared to fight again.
Has Jesus healed Evander Holyfield?
Yes, he have.
Yeah, there's been significant improvement between, several days after the fight and about 2 weeks ago when we remeasured the heart.
Doctors at Crawford Long say Holyfield's condition has improved. And by November, after an impartial exam from the Mayo Clinic, the Boxing Commission clears Holyfield to fight again.
I got 3 checkups, and each one of them got better and better. And, I wasn't on any medication or anything like that.
Less than a year later, by 1996, he's reclaimed his title by knocking out none other than the 30-year-old boxing champion Mike Tyson, without even paying him off. It is one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. Holyfield didn't just make a tiny blip of a rally. He dominated the ring. Hell, Tyson literally had to bite a chunk of his ear off in order to avoid getting knocked out by him a second time.
Yeah, I go, there he goes.
He defeated Moorer in a rematch, and then he went on to box professionally for another 17 years after his initial retirement announcement, all while missing an ear chunk. And to the average outside observer, it seemed like the perfect redemption story. A miraculous healing, followed by an incredible comeback. Sports networks celebrated Holyfield's return, while religious TV programs praised God's miracle-working power.
Give us the testimony of how you really feel the Lord touched you.
And Benny Hinn was hailed as a modern-day apostle, broadcasting the miracle to viewers around the world, milking the publicity for millions in tithe donations.
The money starts pouring in at Benny Hinn's crusades. Thousands of people filling hundreds of Pastor Benny's collection buckets at every service we attend.
Even Holyfield donated to Hinn's ministry.
The champ apparently believes Benny is such a blessing, he's traveled to 3 states to be with the preacher in the last 6 weeks. He's also written him a $265,000 check.
And those are $1994 dollars. It would be worth over double that today. Now, when questioned about the massive donation, Holyfield was quick to clarify that this wasn't payment for the healing. God forbid.
He doesn't like reports that suggest he paid for his healing.
To think of paying money to receive a healing is repugnant to anyone who really knows the Lord. You know that, and I know that.
No, this was simply a gift from his heart to spread Hinn's ministry overseas.
And I gave a donation from my heart, just like I give to a lot of other foundations.
But something about the tale didn't quite add up. You see, while Benny Hinn was quick to broadcast the miracle to his viewers with rerun after rerun, the medical community was a bit slower to accept the televangelist narrative, reserving judgment, but expressing initial skepticism.
Now, doctors have seen other hearts stiffen and fail to pump properly, then suddenly soften, but they don't understand exactly why.
And we don't know what caused it. We don't know why it's better. We know it is better. And in the future, we don't know if it'll continue to get better. We certainly hope it will. And there's a possibility that it may get worse. We just don't know.
But by November 1994, after examinations at multiple clinics, a new narrative emerged. Holyfield's stiff heart appeared to have been a misdiagnosis.
Doctors now say it was apparently a misdiagnosis. Holyfield's problem was caused by fluids used to treat dehydration after his fight with Michael Moore a month before.
And for years, that seemed to be the official narrative.
But 3 years later, Pastor Benny was still claiming credit for the champ's miraculous healing.
But Evander Holyfield credits you with curing his heart problem, although the doctor said that maybe it was misread in the first place.
God healed him in one of our crusades, yeah.
But though the case grew cold, it was far from shut. Because while the media was busy debating whether this was a miracle or a medical error, the Nevada Athletic Commission was asking an entirely different question. You see, the symptoms that Holyfield exhibited were consistent with human growth hormone use. HGH is a performance-enhancing drug, or PED, and in the 1990s, its use was widespread among professional athletes, and unlike steroids, there wasn't a way to test for it. It was the professional athlete's wonder drug in the 90s. It could help build lean muscle, speed up recovery, and potentially enlarge your heart. According to Dr. Margaret Goodman, the chairman of the medical advisory board of the Nevada Athletic Commission, Holyfield was asked after his 1994 diagnosis if he was using HGH, and he adamantly denied the allegations. And even if the press had been aware of this possibility, without concrete evidence, this was nothing more than speculative hearsay. After all, Holyfield had never failed a drug test.
I'm the most tested athlete ever. They never caught me in nothing because I ain't never did nothing.
Because there were no drug tests for HGH. He was known as one of boxing's good guys. Well, besides his recurring infidelity. A clean-living, God-fearing champion. So that narrative stuck. Until 2007, when a DEA investigation into an illegal steroid distribution network stumbled onto something, let's just say, interesting. A patient named Evan Fields, who had been receiving regular shipments of testosterone and HGH from a compound pharmacy in Alabama. Fields shared Holyfield's exact birth date and a suspiciously similar address on Evander Street. And when investigators phoned the phone number associated with this Evan Fields, guess who answered? Hello?
Jesus Christ, that's Evander Holyfield.
You never took HGH? Evan Fields?
The Nevada State Athletic Commission did an investigation and they felt that it had something to do with HGH.
What is that?
That's what it said. It said that his condition, that your condition was consistent with human growth hormone use.
No, the thing is, you know, in that same situation right there, when they told me I had a heart attack, they gave me too much morphine. They gave me too much morphine, okay. and that was the whole problem because I didn't have no heart. I didn't have a heart problem. They gave me too much morphine.
Okay, and so they mistook that with HGH.
You say you were miraculously healed by Benny the coat-flinging Hinn,
You were watching this preacher named Benny Hinn?
Yes.
And you said that you felt your heart heal watching him. And
no, I didn't.
No?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Has Jesus healed Evander Holyfield?
Yes, he have. I go see Benny Hinn. Benny Hinn tell me I'm healed. Only thing that he did, he said, go back and tell him to check your heart again.
The Lord is telling me right now, he is repairing Holyfield's heart completely.
Yep, seems legit. Now, for legal reasons, I'm gonna stop short of making any outright allegations. But given what we know, tell me what makes more sense to you. Option 1. A world champion boxer using performance-enhancing drugs develops heart problems, a known side effect of HGH. To avoid the risk of negative exposure and medical scrutiny, he needs a way to explain his recovery that won't raise too much suspicion. It's the 90s, and everyone's a Christian, so he turns to a mega-famous televangelist faith healer for a miracle. He says that he's not using HGH.
What is that?
So doctors who are trained to trust their patients are perplexed and think that they may have misdiagnosed his initial condition, chopping it up to the excessive fluid fluid intake used to treat his dehydration. Benny Hinn gets to milk the publicity with rerun after rerun, painting himself as the greatest faith healer since Christ. For Holyfield, it's the perfect smokescreen. For Hinn, the perfect scam. Throw in a massive donation from Holyfield to Hinn's ministry, and you make it even more believable. Or, option 2, assume God exists. Now assume that everything we've learned about biology, anatomy, medicine, and science and the laws of physics is wrong, and God decided, just this once, to take a break from ignoring prayer long enough to pop down to a Benny Hinn service so that he could fix the non-life-threatening injury of one already highly successful jock at the behest of America's slimiest televangelist, allowing Boxer Boy to pop back into the ring gladiator style and go full fisticuffs for Jesus in order to win another shiny, before returning to the status quo of ignoring the desperate prayers of AIDS children. Now, those aren't the only two options. It's possible that Holyfield was doing HGH and also thought that maybe he had a heart condition caused by it, and then he turned to Benny Hinn and thought that he was miraculously healed, and who knows, there could be other options as well. But Holyfield, of course, denies all of the allegations and released the following statement through his promoter. "I do not use steroids. I have never used steroids.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman."
And the HGH prescriptions? Well, clearly the junkie Evan Fields just happens to share the same birth date, live on Evander Street, and miraculously has the same phone number as your one-eared boy Holyfield. We may never know exactly what happened, but for that reason, it's important to be a little bit skeptical, especially when you hear the miraculous claims of your next televangelist faith healer. If only there was someone who was 100% honest around here, who we could ask to clear things up.
Look at his eyes. I have never lied to you. Never. And I never will.
Now, if you're not familiar with my work, I've done extensive exposés on how faith healing works, the tricks used by faith healing frauds, as well as the psychology behind it and how we fool ourselves. So make sure that you check out the entire series. I'll put a link to that in the description below. And if you enjoy this and you want to see more, let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe for future videos, because I really do pay attention to my analytics like that to see what kinds of content you guys like and what you want to see more of. And if you appreciate me pushing back against faith healing nonsense and pseudoscience of all stripes, making videos like this is my full-time job, and your support is what allows me to do this. So if you're able to make a per video pledge on patreon.com or a one-time PayPal donation, it keeps the lights on, keeps the coffee cup full, and the videos are churning out. In particular, right now, I'm ramping up my output and scaling up Holy Koolaid, so every little bit helps. Thank you in advance, thank you to everyone for your ongoing support, and as always, dare to be curious, but don't drink the Kool-Aid.